All right, the best way I can really form this up in this first mountain is let's take a little journey to the Christian bookstore. First of all, just that word, Christian bookstore, that's a flag for me. It's like blank coffee shop, hipster chicken and waffles place, whatever it may be. When you use a noun that's in context of an adjective, you have to understand that now you are staring directly at one of the creative blocks or creative summits or the things that get in the way, the thing that we got to get over. And it's the mountain of the adjective. When you are saying Christian bookstore, you are using the word Christian in an adjective. And it's never an adjective. It's a noun that simply loves verbs. And so when you're using those adjectives that should be nouns, know that you are speaking into two concentric circles. There's the subculture, if you will, or the small group of people that you are speaking to with that adjective, and then there's a greater scope. And I'll draw that for you here. So if you look on this perspective, if you have the word Christian as an adjective, or whatever you want to use as an adjective in your people group, subculture, whatever the case may be, just know that in that adjective sense, you're in a small concentric circle. We'll label this one C for Christian bookstore. But there's this huge concentric circle that exists outside of here. Now, called, maybe let's just call this H, the rest of humanity. And I see so many people develop content or creative ideas that are in this small bubble, the adjective, and they're frustrated why it doesn't have legs in the greater whole of humanity. So it's like I as a follower of Christ, I'm going to go see the next Star Wars. I'm always going to go out to see that video. I can't wait to go see Coldplay in concert again. But let's be honest, people in, let's just say, humanity who aren't a follower of Christ, who aren't in that Christian adjective bubble, they're really not waiting to come out in for Fireproof 7. No offense against Kirk Cameron, but they're really not worried about that. They're not thinking about that. And I think a lot of times we create whatever we're creating with the mountain of the adjective, where we're making things for a big bubble, and let's just simply say, then it can have cultural significance here. But where I see the mountain the most is people make things in these little small concentric subgroup circles, and then they lose the connection or the greater conversation with the whole. Now, speaking from a Christian perspective, this is a discipleship resource. This is an evangelistic resource. Let me give you an example. In public schools, all the time, I'm looking for those common threads of humanity. Write that down. Common threads of humanity that will keep you getting over the top of the mountain of the adjective. Common threads of humanity. So, in a public school, I can't say Proverbs 18:21. It's a Bible verse. Power and life and death is in the tongue. I can't say that. I'll never say that. I want to honor that law. I want to honor those administrators. I want to make that a safe place that doesn't have a religious undertone or overtone. But I can say Abe Lincoln used words to change the world. The guys on the Sasquatch show, Bobo and the crew, have an amazing dialect that speaks life into their lives. I can talk about Blaise Pascal. I can use a toothpaste illustration. I can use all these things that simply are pointing to the common threads of humanity. So what I'm saying, go back to this drawing here, is you get all these things like toothpaste, Abe Lincoln, and all of the other ideas about words of life, but yet I'm still resonating here. The mountain of the adjective. When you see a noun that's used as an adjective, beware and be cautious in the creative process, because it's either limiting your concentric circle and you're wishing it would go big, or what's happening is you're making it so big and it has a hard time taking root in the people that you're trying to reach.